It is becoming more apparent every single day that AI agents are becoming a reality, and they're becoming a reality fast. By AI agents, we mean autonomous AI systems that can take actions for you on your behalf. So, according to a recent report in The Information, OpenAI is, quote, developing a form of agent software to automate complex tasks by effectively taking over a customer's device. This agent would perform clicks, cursor movements, typing, and other actions required by humans to operate different apps. And that's according to a person with knowledge of the effort who the information interviewed. Now, there are also plenty of buzzworthy startups that are trying to build these types of AI agents. Our friends at Hyperwrite have been working on their personal assistant AI agent for some time now, and they released Agent Trainer and Agent Studio, which are new features that give you the ability to train AI agents just by recording what you're doing on your screen for any given workflow or interaction with an app. Says Matt Schumer at Hyperate on X, this represents a major step forward in usability and accessibility for AI agents. No more prompting. Soon, Hyperite users will be able to customize their personal assistant and teach it to automate repetitive tasks in a fraction of the time. They're not the only startup working on this. There are companies like the new buzzworthy startup Multion and Adept, which is an existing player who's raised hundreds of millions of dollars. So, Paul, it's actually interesting timing here because it's been almost a year since you first published an article on our website called World of Bits and basically predicted this imminent rise of AI agents. And in that article, you said, quote, when you start connecting the dots, it appears that we are moving toward a world in which AI agents will not only retrieve and present information and answers, but have the ability to take actions in the digital world. This changes things, likely in ways for which marketers, business leaders, software entrepreneurs, and humans in general are not prepared. Can you walk us a bit through that post, kind of why you wrote it, why it matters today, and what's changed, if anything, since you wrote it?
Yeah, I think so. We talked about this in episode 35. So if you want to go back and rewind and kind of listen to the whole thing, we'll also put the link in the show notes, for the original article. But I think it is helpful to go back and kind of give the context here. So if we go back to that article, I'll just kind of read a few excerpts for you because it gives really good context as to what's going on and kind of where this is going. So the article said we are so caught up right now in figuring out AI writing tools and large language models that most marketing and business leaders, as well as SaaS executives, software as a service executives, and investors are missing the bigger picture. This is all just the foundation for what comes next. Let's look at email marketing as a practical example of what I mean. Imagine you want to send an email promoting an upcoming event, product launch, or promotion, but rather than a series of clicks and manual entries, you simply spoke or typed prompts for what you wanted the machine, aka the AI, to do. I did later in the post share the example of HubSpot. Like if I wanted to send an email in HubSpot, it takes a minimum of 21 clicks. So this example of I can just give a voice prompt or a text prompt instead of clicking around 21 times within HubSpot. So the article went on to say, I'm not talking about simple information retrieval and natural language generation, such as a chat feature that responds to queries and prompts. I'm saying that the AI will have the ability to perform actions, clicks, form fills, etc., the same way as humans. Based on a collection of public AI research papers related to a concept called World of Bits, and in light of recent events and milestones in the AI industry, including legendary AI researcher Andrej Karpathy announcing his return to OpenAI, which was in February of 2023, it appears the capabilities for AI systems to use a keyboard and mouse are being developed in major AI research labs right now. This has been attempted in the past, but recent advancements in language AI appear to be bringing this closer to reality. If AI develops these abilities at scale, the user experience of every software company will have to be reimagined, and it will have profound impacts on productivity, the economy, and human labor. Later in the article, I went on to say, in a 2017 research paper called World of Bits, an open domain platform for web-based agents, Karpathy and other authors explored the potential of AI agents to complete tasks such as booking flights and completing forms through simulated usage of a keyboard and mouse. They made progress, but obstacles remain. In the conclusion of that paper, it said, in this paper, we introduced World of Bits, a platform that allows agents to complete web tasks with keyboard and mouse actions. Unlike most existing reinforcement learning platforms, World of Bits offers the opportunity to tackle realistic tasks at scale. We showed that while standard supervised and reinforcement learning techniques can be applied to achieve adequate results across these environments, the gap between agents and humans remains large and welcomes additional modeling advances. It was around that time that Karpathy left OpenAI and went to head up AI and computer vision at Tesla. Then in October 2022, so a few months before we're talking about in February, he did an interview on the Lex Friedman podcast, which Mike and I are both huge fans of. And in that interview, he implied that those barriers that they talked about in the conclusion to the 2017 paper were coming down. So Friedman said, you briefly worked on a project called World of Bits, training a reinforcement learning system to take actions on the internet versus just consuming the internet like we talked about. He went on to say, do you think there's a future for that kind of system interacting with the internet to help learning? Karpathy said, yes, I think that's probably the final frontier for a lot of these models. When I was at OpenAI, I was working on World of Bits, and basically it was the idea of giving them access to the keyboard and mouse. And the idea is basically you perceive the input of the screen and you're able to take actions. He went on to say, now to your question as to what I learned, it's interesting because World of Bits was basically too early at OpenAI. This is around 2015 when they were working on it. He did then go on to say, it is time to revisit that, and OpenAI is interested in this. Companies like Adept are interested in this, and so on. And the idea is coming back because the interface is very powerful. But now you're not training an agent from scratch. You are taking the GPT as an initialization. This is the real key part as to kind of where we are today. So GPT is pre-trained on all of the text, and it understands what a booking is. It understands what a submit is. It understands quite a bit more. And so it already has those representations. They are very powerful, and that makes all the training significantly more efficient and makes the problem tractable. And if you remember a few episodes back, we talked about Karpathy's YouTube video where he talked about the future of AI agents. And in that, when he said, what are kind of the next frontier of large language models, he said it can use the existing software infrastructure, like a calculator, a mouse, a keyboard. Then a couple of quick notes. The one thing I found interesting as I was, kind of follow along here, a guy named Ben Newhouse, who works on agents at OpenAI, tweeted on January 25th that he was, I'm hiring at OpenAI. We're building what I think could be an industry-defining 0 to 1 product that leverages the latest and greatest from our upcoming models. If you'd like product, deep technological challenges, and writing the future, my DMs are open. So he was recruiting. But the thing that caught my attention was a guy named Peter Wellender, who's VP of product at OpenAI, retweeted that again on January 25th and said, this product will change everything. So OpenAI's VPs don't usually tweet things like this product will change everything unless they actually believe it will. And so I believe they're referring to their progress on AI agents. And so that before we even saw the information article last week was sort of my tip off that they're making significant progress. And so I think the key takeaway for everyone here is large language models were always just the foundation for what comes next. They have unlocked the ability to build AI agents. They will unlock the next iteration of robotics because the robots can embody the language models, the intelligence. And so when we talk about this exponential growth curve in technology and capabilities, AI agents are going to be at the forefront of that. And 2024, I think we're going to start to see more and more applications coming to consumers and to businesses in this space.
So to kind of wrap this up, if I'm a marketer, marketing leader, business leader, like how can I even start to prepare for the near-term implications of how much this will change?
Well, if you're willing to give access to everything you do on your computer, you can probably start testing them with something like a hyperwrite or
Mm,
multi-on. I personally am not. So I follow along in the space and listen closely to what's happening and what's going on in the research labs and watch the demos, but I'm not at a point where I would personally trust these companies to have access to that. But like I said in the past episodes, like once Google does this or Apple and they already have all my data, I'm far more likely to say, all right, I'll give it a go.
mm,
But for me personally, I'm not willing to give up that privacy and data to startups at the moment. So I think again, it's kind of one of those the law of uneven AI distribution that I wrote, a year plus ago. Like we're all going to have the ability to have the benefits, but you have to be willing to accept what you have to give up to get the benefit.
mhm.
And so in the case of AI agents, personally, I'm not willing to give up the privacy that it would take to start testing these tools.